Peace, God. Peace, Goddess. Peace and blessings from the Most High. Live from the trap right now. Hey, shit. I took some time away for a little minute. I've been going through some shit. I've been going through some stuff. So, like, I've been recording my downloads, and I keep them in this book. Like, it was supposed to be a dream journal, but while I was processing trauma, like, I learned, like, it was a lot. It was a lot to record. And I was just led to make this book that has like all of my downloads. Well, not all of them, but most of them. During the past 6 months, like during the past time I've been offline, and I've been recording the other ones. But I first, like when I first got this journal, I was gonna make a dream journal, but for dreams I couldn't seem to remember them. And then I would like, if I did remember, I'd just contemplate on them and take the knowledge out of it and possibly like make a journal out of it. But I was never really dream journaling. So I turned it into like a download journal, or when I get a download, I'll write about it. And so like I took some time like processing, like, cause I had to process like hella trauma for the past like 6 months, like, or longer. And while I was processing it, I just I watched anime and I watched some movies. And when I was watching, like, I kind of just left I quoted like some movies and some TV shows and some animes that relate to some things that I was going through in my life, because it helped me process the trauma. Like, one of the easiest ways and the best ways to process trauma is through like watching a movie or watching a TV show, because once you could laugh about it, then that's how you know you're like truly healed. Laughter is one of the best medicines. But yeah, it allows you like to laugh, make light of a situation, which detaches your ego from it. And so if you're able to laugh at it, then it's outside of you. And when you're still holding on to it, it's your ego like fighting it. And you have to take it serious because something serious did happen. But I processed so much trauma, and like I've evolved so much that it's like my whole perspective like on life is different, and the way like I think. And I'm understanding that like the adversity that trauma creates, we think like it's happening to us, and trauma sometimes isolates you. It isolates you from other people, because when you have trauma, when you processing trauma, or when you processing trauma, it's something that it isolates you from people, because it causes you to focus on your pain and focus on your healing and focus on like what happened. Because a lot of times in these situations, it's like you're not even aware like completely of what happened if it involves like relationships. Because then you think about perspectives, your perspective versus the other party or the other people involved. And you trying to process what happened and then what should have happened or could have happened, and learning the lesson, and then like healing and going through the stages, like, and releasing the emotion and transmuting it. And so I found a way to do that through learning and creating. And now like I'm a vlog about it. I'm a vlog here on my TikTok and on my YouTube. My YouTube is Eon Eternity 9, and this is my only account on TikTok. eon, eternity, I believe. But yeah, I've learned a lot like about trauma, but it's something that it's weaponized. Like trauma is weaponized. People want you to experience trauma, and people who have experienced trauma, they sometimes feel like passing that trauma on to other people. And it kind of reminds me of that movie Sinners, because it's like once somebody's traumatized, it's like it changes them. Sometimes they become narcissistic. Sometimes they become secluded. They become different. Like they develop different coping mechanisms. They could change the entire trajectory of their life. Like trauma could affect someone like to change their very like to their very core of being, because it can lead to an ego death, and it could lead to you being split. But trauma is what helps us unlock our gifts if it's utilized correctly, like because it's an energy. And that's also one thing I've been learning, that before we put a connotation on anything, like if I said like this lighter, or if I said this notebook, or if I said me, or if I said anything like, and then I would say this is matter, the densest form of energy. Or I was to say this person, like is this person a good person or a bad person? Is their actions good or bad? Are they sending me good vibes, or are they like draining my energy? Is it a negative energy or is it a positive energy? And before we put a connotation on anything, it just is. It is energy, and everything is energy. And so I read this quote the other day, like from one of my spirit guides. I got an angel number, and it said, "Take responsibility for the entirety of your life." And I was just thinking, like, I was high, so I just sat there and I started thinking, I'm just like, take responsibility for the entirety of your life. And it just set in the more I repeated it to myself. Take responsibility for the entirety of your life. And to me, that means like you don't blame anyone. Like that's the first like trap once you already experience trauma. You begin to say like, this happened to me. This person did this to me. If I never met this person, if I was never with this person, if this person was never there, if this person never did this, etc. If I was never at this place or that place, if I just moved back here, if I stayed home, like it's like you begin to blame other people and things outside of yourself, and you are the only thing that you have control over, not anyone else. And most people don't have control over that. But when you begin to blame others for problems in your life, that's when you become a victim. That's when you victimize yourself. And in that state of mind, you give your power away. But you have to understand that you're always in charge. You're always in control. The only thing you have in life is time and decisions. That's it. It's foolish to think that anything is ours. Our own body is not even ours. It will return to the soil. Our breath will return to the atmosphere. Our blood will return to the oceans and the heavens. Our soul will return to God, and our spirit will return to the earth. And so it's all the ego. And as we have ego deaths, it's just proof of our evolution and involvement. But the thing about ego death is we can't exist without the ego, because it lets us know who we are in our past and how to do day-to-day functions. And so we have ego deaths, but it's a short experience. because right after another one is reborn. And we have to have an ego in this atmosphere. But it's about alleviating the ego and balancing the ego with your emotions. Because we have a conscious ego and a subconscious ego, which is the superconscious. And so it's about balancing the sun and the moon. And trauma is something that could empower you because it creates adversity and it forces your body into certain states. Like if you read or you know about Ike and Tina, or if you watch What's Love Got to Do with It, it wasn't until Ike met Tina Turner or Anime Bullock before she turned into Tina Turner. Now the thing about that is he saw her. When he looked at Anime Bullock, Ike Turner looked at Anime Bullock and he saw Tina Turner. She wasn't Tina Turner yet. And this is why in the movie she said, I just want my name. Because she unlocked who she is, not what she became. This is who she always was. She never, when she looked in the mirror, she never saw that in herself. When he looked at her, he saw it. And he brought it up out of her. He was the catalyst, the trigger to push that up out of her into her true self, to awaken her. Because before then, she was insecure. She didn't know who she was. She wasn't like living up to her truest potential. And so he came along as a catalyst that was brought by the universe for a manifestation that she asked for. And yes, like super traumatic relationship, toxic relationship. But we notice in the beginning, he started by pushing her to sing, pushing her to follow dates and to like come up with music and giving her stage name. And so though we look at it like it's a super toxic relationship, which it was, if we look at the end of the movie, we watch how she made it through that trauma and how that fire transformed her even into a new religion and a new way of life. And she believed in herself so much that when she walked away, she said, I just want my name. He can keep everything else, because she understood. She was fully awakened. She understood that everything was inside of her, not outside of her. And anything that she created, she could create better. And she went on to do that. And I think about a lot of different traumas and instances, but another one is Split, the movie Split. Trauma causes us to fragment sometimes, and we do this as a coping mechanism where trauma stunts our growth, and it physically causes brain damage. It stunts our growth, and to the point to where if something is so traumatic, it locks us in a state of being until it could develop into a multiple personality disorder. Like when you were 7 years old, this happened. When you were 13, this traumatic event happened. Then when you were 18, this super traumatic event happened. When you were 25, this super traumatic event happened. And so you could be split between those different timelines and versions of yourself. Like if we look at, I've been studying quantum physics a lot more too. Like if we look at like the Spider-Verse, or if we look at any like anime or DC comics or Marvel comics, we see like there are different versions. And that's because everything already exists. It has to be unlocked first. If we picked it, like if we play a video game like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter, there are characters there. They exist, but they're in the darkness. They're in the ether. They're in an alternate universe. They have to be unlocked first. And so Tina Turner always existed. If you watch the movie Split, the Beast always existed, but they only heard of him and to the end of the movie. If you watch like at the very end, he got into an altercation with his with this psychiatrist, and then at the end of the movie, he almost caught the main character. But if you watch it in the beginning of the movie, like she knew everything. And the only reason she knew everything and she was trying to save the other girls is because she had already been traumatized. And it was showing that. And he realized it at the end of the movie. At the end of the movie, he realized, and that's when he said, the broken are more evolved. And he says, rejoice, rejoice. The broken are more evolved. And he knew that she was broken by looking at her. When he saw that she had self-harm marks, he knew that she had been traumatized. Trauma causes us to evolve, and it gives us the ability to unlock our spiritual gifts. Even some traumas impact us so deeply that it allows us to reconnect with other lifetimes where we've experienced this similar trauma. And so it can help us heal and integrate and awaken us in this lifetime. Or it could be something that could lead to people being depressed, uh, being in a state of self-harm, or not desiring to live, or developing coping mechanisms, developing mental disorders, and people crashing out, people throwing their lives away, people making dumb decisions and not caring about their lives anymore. So trauma is something that could actually be very useful. It could be a key to unlock your greatest potential. It's like when the bird gets pushed out of the nest. At that moment, before it hits the ground, it realizes it's never flown before, but it can fly. It was designed to fly. It was never taught how to fly. But in that moment, seconds before it hits the ground, it makes a decision to spread its wings and starts flying. And it's watched its mom come back and forth and fly. So it knows it can fly. And it's one of those things, like, it triggers you. Like, sometimes you don't know what's in you until somebody brings it out. There's codes in your genetics, which you also have light codes. Light codes in your subconscious and in your conscious. So we have epigenetics where we can re-alter or recalibrate or alter our genetics. In the sequence of our genes, some genes aren't expressed and some are, but they can also be changed. They can evolve in our lifetime depending on the activities, the thought processes, emotions, and actions that we take in this life. Even the thought and belief with the placebo effect. The same idea of the placebo effect is when a doctor tells someone that they're giving them a cure when they're really just giving them a sugar pill. So what they're doing is giving them the faith and belief in themselves and using the pill as a segue to do so, or a Trojan horse. Because the truth is, you already have the power. Like when the Wizard of Oz went, like when Dorothy, the lion, and the Tin Man went to the Wizard of Oz, what they found out was Oz wasn't really this great magical wizard. And they also found out that everything they were looking for was within them. They just had to follow the yellow brick road. which is the path to consciousness, or the stairway to heaven. And where it says, like, first seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things would be brought unto you. And so truly, like, everything is inside of us. Like in the movie Matrix, where it says timid noise, when the oracle points up, and she says that means know thyself, or in Kemet or Egypt, where we used to say know thyself. In fact, a lot of problems in our lives come from us not knowing ourselves. And if we don't know ourselves, we cannot know another, because we're all reflections of each other. And so trauma is something that's powerful. Like, we think about a lot of great artists, like even Michael Jackson, like he was abused by his father. And that's how he developed his singing voice. And that's how he got so great at singing. He took the abuse and alchemized the energy into something positive. But you see, like, we're not always able to do that. Sometimes that energy turns into someone spiraling and someone going off the deep end, someone even changing their neutral affiliation to the dark side, and not even having, losing their religion and losing their faith in everything that they believe in now, and changing completely. But it's all about the choice and decision that the individual makes, and how they choose to deal with that trauma. But that's what we're here for. We're here to learn and grow. And before we came here, we set up a list of traumatic events already for us to experience. And so it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And it's happening for you to learn, to teach you, and to help you unlock and remember who you are and why you came here. It's very deep. Trauma can cause you to unlock your psychic gifts. Say, like, clairaudience. Being, like, self-conscious and constantly worrying what other people think about you is a desire in the heart, the philosopher's stone. And it's also for a defense mechanism, which is developed in trauma. You increase your defense because you seek to never be harmed again. And so this is the feminine nature. This is how animals survive in the wild. It's reception, receptivity, sensitivity. The key to the spirit world is yin, or feminine energy. And that's another thing. That's what I've been tapping into, the darkness. And so I haven't been online. Like, I've been, like, in the ethers. I've been astral projecting. I've been, like, going through ego dust. I've been, like, jumping timelines, like jumping portals, learning so much knowledge and information, processing so many things, like even learning about different forms of divination, like just like cartomancy and tarot. But it's so, like, technomancy, even, like, it's so many different forms of divination, like bibliomancy using the Bible. It's so many different forms. But the thing about it is, like, that's the key, trauma. I heard somebody say that pain was the greatest gift that somebody could ever give to you. And it made me laugh because I was like, huh? What? But then I started to think about it. If you're not given pain, you're really not equipped to handle life. Like if you were sheltered and you didn't even let trauma enter, like you never saw no evil, heard no evil. You never even let trauma like enter, like, or darkness enter your spirit or your psyche or your emotions. You've never had contact, like much contact with it. Maybe you saw something on TV, you heard about something, you saw a fight at school or something, like just really basic. If you never really been initiated into the darkness, then you're unequipped for the world, because the world is very dark. In the beginning was darkness, and God said, "Let there be light." The darkness is not something to run from. The darkness is something to make conscious, to bring the light to. This is what unlocks our gifts. This is what helps us unlock our gifts. So if you're super conscious, if you're super self conscious, you're constantly paying attention to everything surrounding in your environment. So if there was an animal outside, one of its instincts are heightened hearing, because it has to hear what it can't see. It has to sense what it can't see. It has to feel it. And so all these instincts, we hold them in our nature and in our body. We hold these gifts and these abilities. It's just in our day-to-day life we become domesticated, so we're unable to access them, as well as the food that we eat and the lack of practice, the lack of spiritual practices and meditation and connection with ourselves. We've lost the ability. It's like if you were to send that dog back into the wild, that domesticated animal back into the wild, it wouldn't do so well. It may not survive for long or at all, depending on what animal it is and where the environment that it's from. And if you remember the TV show Braceface, she would intercept TV signals or radio signals. She was clairaudient. She would intercept them through her braces. And the braces, the mouth, the ears, and the throat are all a portion of the throat chakra. It's just the throat is the masculine aspect, along with the tongue. The ears are the feminine aspect, or the positive and negative aspects of the throat chakra. Hearing and speaking, communication. And so we can communicate with each other. Once I traveled through, I'm beginning to really study quantum physics, because once I traveled through the ethers and through the astral realm, I'm understanding that we don't create anything. We think we create. We think we create something. And this is the reason, like, we hear music, we watch movies, and we know what's gonna happen. We hear music, and we can finish the words before they do. We heard this beat before. It's because there's nothing new under the sun. Everything already exists. Every possibility already exists. You already existed before you were impregnated. Before your mother was impregnated with you, you already existed. What you're gonna do years from now, tomorrow, the day after, years after, it already exists. Every possibility already exists within the universe. and every outcome already exists. Time doesn't exist. Time is not linear. Time is an illusion. Separation is an illusion. And so the thing is, we don't create. We listen to music. If we listen to a song, what you're hearing is you'll hear artists over the past century. You've heard artists. What was your inspiration? Oh, I used to listen to so and so back in the 30s, or not the 30s, the 50s. Or I used to listen to so and so back in the 80s. I used to listen to so and so back in the 90s. Listen to them back in 2000. And we have these different artists like Prince, Michael Jackson, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar. Then we go like older, we got like, it's so many different artists and so many different genres. But each, and then there's so many parts of the world. I listen to a lot of music, but each artist, like, they get their inspiration from other music artists. And if you watch a movie, the directors of that movie get their inspiration from older movies, or some of those, and then some of those movies get their inspiration from books. And so it's like everything, there's nothing new being created. Everything's being remixed, and reimagined, and recreated. Like, there's just recreation here. There's no creation. In the beginning, there was creation. There is nothing new now. Everything already exists. And so, since we don't create anything, I begin to understand about what manifestation truly is. Like, there's a difference between creating something and manifesting something. So since everything already exists, if I was to create something, I would have to take what already exists and control it and compile it. I have to take what already exists, control it, and compile it into a form or an organization or a system. I would have to reconstruct the matter that already exists to make a phone, or to make a ring, or to make shoes, socks, anything. The matter already exists. All matter comes from the earth. And it already exists. We pull it out of the earth, we alchemize it into a different form, and then we recreate with it. And so your life already exists. It's 33 on the timer here. 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Your life already exists. Like, before you came here, you already had a mission. You already agreed to do a mission with God of what you would do for your life. But the thing about it is, He gave us free will. So some of us choose to derail from that. And then that's where you hear like the fallen angels or the demons. They choose to derail, and they choose, because we got free will, I don't want to do that. This is what I'd rather do. But God so loved the world, we can do whatever we want to do. The only thing is, we're not free from the consequences of our actions. It's not that He condemns us. It's not that He forsakes us. It's that He dwells within us. And He tells us to keep His commandments in order for Him to abide in us, because He is a spirit, and we must worship Him in spirit and truth. If you make your vessel unclean, then His spirit cannot reside there. And so it's not a thing of what they teach you in religion. And you have to read the ghost spells of Jesus Christ. Because what they're creating is a religion. And when they put these spells over you, they're resurrecting these old spirits to inhabit you. The same way that each of these sins, or the 7 deadly sins, they block the 7 chakras, like the spirit of fear. Once you tune and each chakra is a portal. Once you tune your frequency, each portal operates in between a certain frequency. Like the root chakra operates at in between a certain bandwidth of frequency. The sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, the crown chakra, the soul star, the earth star, and higher and below. They all are portals. And so when you operate on fear, you begin to manifest. And this is why it's so quick. It's so easy and so quick for you to manifest your fears, because it's a negative energy. And so you're going to attract it. Fear is a negative energy. You're going to attract what you fear. Desire is a negative energy. You're going to attract what you desire. Even if you can't possess it, you will attract it. But if you notice, the heart chakra and the solar plexus are masculine energies. This is I will. Your will is what you put out, your actions. And you put it out, and those things return to you. You reap what you sow. The love that you put out. And this is why you don't look for love. You are love. The love that you put out will return to you. And so we manifest through all of the chakras. And the 7 deadly sins are 7 spirits that are demonic, that lead to the manifestation of evil or undesirable experiences. But yeah, it's deep. I forgot where I was going.